welcome to another
Right.
episode of This Is Our Year. I'm your host, Michael Curlin. Join me, as always, Douglas E. Freshington. Douglas, how are you doing today?
The E is for extra salt. I'm doing well, actually, man. It's Friday. Finally, kind of a nice day out. There might be some hope here. I'm gonna have a golden monkey.
Nice.
You ever had golden monkey or anything from Victory?
No Golden Monkey. Victory.
These
Where's
guys been
Victory out of?
around. What's that?
Where's Victory out of?
Yeah, it's out of Philly. These guys been around for a while. It's used to have some good friends in Philly. They moved. We used to drink this a lot back in the day. However, it packs a punch. So 9.5. It's more of a Belgian Tripel.
You've been rocking those Belgians lately. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
When I drink beer, I don't drink beer often, but when I do,
when
it's
I
Dos
do.
Equis. Yeah.
And,
you're gonna need that 9.5 after the last 10 days of Mets baseball.
I'm dressed in black, of course, because one of our team's season is over, and that, of course, is the New York Mets. See what I did there? Yeah, we have a couple of teams to say goodbye to. The fucking Mets, though. We could start with that if you want.
Yeah, let's just get it out of the way. Let's just get it out of the way because it's been a source of frustration. Cheers, man. Yeah, if I was drinking, I'd be drinking a 12% alcohol drink as well. So
after watching this starting pitching staff, especially last week.
I mean, dude, if you can, this is directly correlated to Phil Cuzzi and Max Scherzer. Ever since he got booted from that game, we're like 3-8,
yeah.
and we're a 500 team after getting swept by the fucking Tigers. Now, granted, I know it's May 5th. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I know that our bullpen is overtaxed because we've only had one pitcher pitch past the fucking fifth inning all year, and Scherzer and Verlander just got back yesterday and the day before. But getting swept by the Tigers is embarrassing. I don't care where it was. Ottavino couldn't close it out. That was the first game that I felt we felt the WBC hurt.
That was a tough one because they actually battled back really well after going down early, right? And Jimmy Yacobonis, we thought he would be the hero of the day, but no. And then it wasn't even a contest in the second game, right? I barely watched it.
I watched zero of the second game. I had something else going on, but I'm glad I didn't get to watch the second of it. And then yesterday, Verlander, first inning, groups 2 fastballs, get some
balls.
Yeah, and then pitched great after that. And we couldn't fucking score 3 runs against the worst team. Come on, Edgardo. I mean, we're back to same old Mets where lefties own us. We cannot hit lefties. I don't understand it. Eduardo, whatever. He used to be on Boston, right? And then he had Tommy John or something. And I mean, he's a good.
Completely shut us down.
He's a good pitcher. He's a lefty junk baller, though. There's we just can't hit lefty junk ballers. It is not in our DNA. It's like
the Islanders game we went to last
power
year,
play.
Right?
Oh yeah, when we pitched, who was that? George something or other. George Kirby.
Yeah, it was the guy
lefty
in Seattle.
Junk ball. Yeah, George Kirby.
Yeah, I think.
Mm-hmm.
No, a good point. Like I wasn't I had it on during work. I wasn't really paying too much attention, but I was looking up and the game was flying. So obviously the Mets weren't hitting.
No, we couldn't touch him.
Gotta wonder what Brandon was doing in the 9th there.
I didn't even see the 9th. What happened?
Still down 2-0. First guy gets out. Brandon hits a single. Tying run at the plate. Marte, Lindor on deck, and he takes off for second. Gets gunned down.
Yeah, I don't understand
down 2-0. That's like the first thing they teach you in Little League. Don't get thrown out down 2-0.
Yeah, and that was the second guy. Pham got caught stealing in the game earlier too to end an inning with McNeil at the plate, and I don't know. Maybe Buck needs to put a little. I know Buck's gonna. So I pause, right? Because again, let me go back. It's May 5th. We haven't had our full rotation intact. Our bullpen has been totally overworked in the first 30 days of the season, and We got a bunch of rainouts, which didn't help our bullpen. Two rainouts in 3 days, so two doubleheaders in 3 days doesn't help. But these are all excuses. As a veteran team, we cannot get swept by the Tigers. Those are games that if we don't win the division, we're going to look back at the end of the year, or we don't make the wild card and we miss by like a game or two. Those are the games we're going to look at and say, that's it. That was it right there. I know the team's just getting their feet under them. It's a lot going on. I think they all started off the year cold. They all got hot at the same time, and now they're all cold again. And I don't understand why why no one's hitting over 300. Why we're really
Except
relying.
Brett Beatty.
Yeah, we're really relying on the long ball.
Yeah,
which we weren't last year. And I got to wonder if Eric Chavez going to bench coach has any long-lasting, lingering effects on the hitters, because he was the hitting coach last year.
I mean, he's still there though. Why would
he's still there, right? But maybe, I don't know, maybe he doesn't want to step on these guys because they have like dual hitting coaches right now.
Yeah,
and like one was like Jeremy Barnes was his assistant hitting coach last year. I don't know who the other guy is that they brought in off the top of my head, but maybe Chavez is like, I'm gonna do bench coach stuff. You guys do hitting coach stuff, and I'll stay off your toes, right? But
what's that guy's name? Hugh Quattlebaum.
Yes, yeah, that guy.
Oh, that was. Did we figure out if that was a real person?
That was a real person.
Okay,
but yeah, man, it's been a rough go, man. It's been a rough go.
It has, and now I'm going to bring something up that I've been thinking about, and it ties back to the point that you made in the off season, or maybe right after last season ended, and it's a good point in this context. Now that like half the league makes the playoffs, I'm just not that concerned right now. There is so much time to make this up. They have cheapened the regular season by adding so many playoff spots. I'm exaggerating a little with half the league, but you know what I mean, dude. It's what is it? It's 6 or 7 per team. Yeah, 7.
7.
Now, can you imagine if this was like I don't know, 2008 or 9, and they got off to this start? We'd be crucified. We'd be like jumping out of windows. Like, why is this team 500? But does it matter too much when and especially when the playoffs are short series baseball, which is just kind of random, right? You just got to get there. So I'm starting. They'll never do this. They'll never cut back on playoff games, and I'm pretty sure they'll never cut down the regular season. But if they did, I think I'm coming around on your idea that if you're going to have that many playoff teams, like cut it down. Why not?
I mean, I was actually watching. The one thing that I pulled from the game yesterday was it was Keith and Gary. Ron was off, and they were talking about how in the minor leagues this year, in one of the A-ball leagues, they're trying to make starting pitchers go longer into games so that starting pitchers are not getting yanked after 4 or 5 innings.
I heard that. Like you lose your DH, right?
So yeah, so in whatever, I think it's the Atlantic League this year, whenever you pull your starting pitcher, you have to take your DH out too, and it's just incentive to make him throw a couple more pitches. And that's not what really struck me. What really struck me is that we've been guarding our pitchers, 100 pitch count over the last 10, 15 years. Not going deeper into games. Complete games are almost like no hitters now, and arm injuries are up.
Right.
So why is that?
Oh, dude, everybody's been battling this question for what, like 10, 15 years, 20 years, as you mentioned. Yeah, it's a lot of things, right? Emphasis on velocity. Teams aren't interested in junk ballers, actually. Like you mentioned how they drive the Mets nuts, but they generally aren't prospects, right? They're never like gone after. No one goes after them. Teams aren't trying to develop Greg Maddixes, are they? It's a lot of things. A lot of like huge pitch counts when these kids are young compared to back in the day. Like back in the day, you'd play like 3 or 4 sports in high school. These guys get on a baseball track at age 8.
Right.
There could be so many things, but I more or less agree with you because like I lived through that era too, when every pitcher could go 9 if they needed to. Uh, there's like 5 guys who can do it now.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it sucks.
Yeah.
And
So shorten the season so that these guys don't have to throw as many
right.
games. They can have the same amount of innings in less games and then be ready for the playoffs.
Well, they
It's
say
such a
the third
grind.
time through the order, the numbers say you get lit up. But I think Ron made a really good point yesterday, or was it Keith? Um, Maybe they're getting lit up the third time because no one trusts them to do it, so it's a smaller sample size.
Right. And
It's
that's how the
self-fulfilling
whole
argument.
conversation,
Yeah,
because Verlander was giving praise to Jim Leland who
who let him work out again?
let him work out of jams early in his career. And these guys don't have the fucking know how to get out of the sixth inning anymore. I mean,
They
look at
just
Senga.
throw ball hard, right?
Senga can't get out of the fifth inning.
No,
He pitches the first 4 innings like a fucking, maybe he gets tagged in the first inning, but then he's, second, third, fourth inning, he's usually coasting. In the fifth inning, he just falls
he just gets
apart,
lit
man.
up.
I mean, they've given
I
him how many days off has he had in a row now? I think he's on like 8 days
I
now.
know. I was kind of wondering why he didn't pitch this week, and I didn't look it up.
I think they just want to give him extra rest so he could let his arm rejuvenate. I don't know.
This is
I
a
think
shit show, though. What was the word I used to describe how the rotation has started this year? They've just face planted.
yes, yep.
Like everybody.
I mean, but
it's out of the gate,
just riddled with injuries.
Yeah.
Narvaez's injury is a lot bigger than we probably care to admit.
For the staff, yeah.
Yeah, and then Lindor, although he's got great OPS, he's got great, when he is hitting, they're usually doubles or higher, and he's got a bunch of RBIs, but he's batting like 220.
Yeah,
Pete's batting 240.
Stuff. He's done this 3 years in a row, like the slow starts, right? I wasn't even talking about the hitters, by the way. I was just talking about the rotation itself.
I'm just
overall. You're right, though. We can start complaining about Mark Canha's not hitting. Marte has the worst OPS plus in the lineup. I'm not counting catcher because that's a tire fire.
And like Alvarez is starting to show the signs of life.
He's coming around.
Yeah, Beatty looks good. Escobar was. I'll give it to you. You were right about Beatty and getting him up there and getting rid of Escobar. Now our lineup is, what is Escobar at this point? Pham and Escobar are repetitive, right? Kind of, at least from a bat point of view.
Am I going out on the limb to say the Mets haven't really ever figured out the DH since it came to the NL? Have we had a good one?
No.
Cano was the plan. JD and Dom were the plan.
No.
Vogelback had some moments, but he's all right, right?
No, he's okay. He was
a 120.
Yeah, but he's not.
He has one home run
for power right now. Yeah, he's got one homer and like 7 RBIs.
He's a big guy. He gets on base.
Yeah, he takes a lot of walks, and that's good. But I've also watched this guy watch like fastball right down the middle for strike 3 at least 3 or 4 times this year because he's too, intricate with that zone. And he was raw. All of the pitches he let go by were fucking strikes. So if you're gonna be willing to take strike 3 on a fastball down the middle, you better fucking be right. And it was clear as day that he wasn't. Now yesterday, Mr. McNeil, he was right. That was not strike 3, and he probably should have got thrown out of the game.
Yeah.
He probably should have got thrown out of the game, but that ump was out of his mind. So
that was one of those where you just eyeball it and you're like, that wasn't even close.
I mean, the catcher did a great job of framing it, but the ump, come on, you got to be better than that, dude.
Well, speaking of rules, I would bet money that Robo Ump is coming for the strike zone.
I hope so, because if these guys, they're not good. They're not good at it. And it definitely becomes the ump show. There's way too many umps that make it about the umps and not about the game.
Whole Angel Hernandez trend.
Oh God! If you're a good like Phil Cuzzy now, I'm the fucking sticky guy. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
great. It's ridiculous. And whatever. Every other pitcher's got rosin and sweat. Like, you're not. If I could see if like 7 different umps had ejected like 7 different people, but one guy's ejected 3 people and they've all claimed the same shit. Like, go fuck yourself, dude. So, and that hasn't helped the start to our season either. So, anyway, enough about the fucking.
Am I panicking? No.
No.
Is this bad baseball though? Are they a bad team? Hell yeah! Right now they
Right
are.
now, definitely.
And
Their
and thank
bullpen,
God they got off to a decent start. They're still 500
they're still
somehow.
500. Well, we had a decent. We've owned the Marlins.
Yeah,
Milwaukee owned us. Then we went on that nice little West Coast road trip and just
yeah,
like
man. We kind of
got
handled the
moving.
Dodgers,
We did handle the Dodgers. We handled the A's, and then
split in San Francisco, but that's when it started to slide, right?
yeah, the third game, and that's when Max had gotten suspended, and then we got all the rainouts.
Yeah.
And the other problem is, I mean, we just signed some guy off the street, literally Dominic Leone, and put him in the game yesterday. Like the guy was not even
It's
in a minor league team
it's
anywhere.
getting bad. It's going to be one of those seasons where we use like 40 pitchers again, like last year.
Yeah. So I don't
I'm just
know.
looking at the list already. There's already some names I've forgotten were on the team already.
Right.
It's May 5th.
Right. So
So,
can we can we get the bullpen to level out? Can we get the starting pitching to level out? And can the guys start hitting? And I'm confident that all three of those things will happen. I don't think Max
I kind of
Scherzer
am too.
forgot how to pitch. I don't think Justin Verlander is going to be a terrible. I think Senga will figure it out. I think between McGill and when Carrasco comes back, hopefully, I think that bone spur was bothering him, and that you
Okay.
could see that in his dip in velocity.
Oh,
He comes
dude,
back, and
we need it,
I never thought at the beginning of the year that I'd be clamoring for the day that Carlos Carrasco was back in the rotation. But yes, we do need it right
right?
now.
Especially
So
when Peterson McGill looked good the first week or two. So we thought we were fine. Again, not panicking, but yikes.
yikes.
Fucking
So
nuts.
we'll see.
All
It's
right.
May 5th. Let's talk
Let's do
again in
something more
June.
fun.
But it's been tough to watch. Yeah, it's been really tough to watch. I got to be honest with you, and I probably won't be tuning into many of these Rocky games this weekend because I need a break. I need a break, and hopefully we handle our business and win three in a row or 2 out of 3. And we can next Friday be back on
That'd
the
be nice.
yay wagon. It would be nice, but if they
Yeah,
get
yeah.
swept by
You
the
know why?
Rockies,
Because the schedule gets real tough in June
yeah,
or late May
yeah,
too. So
yep, yeah, we got to win some of these
wake
games,
up, boys.
even though Buck said that we don't. I don't agree. So Douglas, where we want to go now?
Yeah, man.
We did the draft mock draft top 10 plus the Jets and the Giants last week.
Oh, dude,
Uh,
you didn't believe CJ would go second. He went right there. That
yeah,
that
I
that kind of
actually
messed us up.
I got to go back and say you picked first, I picked second,
Yeah.
and the only pick that we got right out of all of them was the first one, which you picked, which was Bryce Young to Carolina.
Yeah, because you
Which
moved Anderson up to what,
I
2?
did.
I had
Yeah,
him
I
at
did.
3, and I
Yep.
had Richardson at 4.
Yep.
I
Yep.
should I should have had more faith in myself. Kids,
Yep.
lesson, self-confidence.
Yeah.
It's everything in life.
If you if you don't think you're the man, no one else will.
No one else will.
So I will take the L on that. I went 0 for 5. Even on the Jets, I was wrong. I picked an offensive tackle. I don't think that was my fault.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people were. Just real quick on the top 10, though. Yeah, we didn't get anything else. So where did Paris Johnson go again?
He went 6 to Arizona. There was a bunch of trade downs too, but yeah, Arizona traded back up to Detroit, and
I had
uh,
Carter high. Of course, he went to Philly. At least B. John went to Atlanta, right? And not
yes.
Philly, but oh, you don't care, but I do.
Oh, I do because I'm going to draft him in Dynasty, but
True.
that's a whole other story. So
I always forget if it's you or Josh who sucked shit last year and got the one. It's you.
it was me. It was
Okay.
me. After I won the championship the year before, though, don't forget about that.
You're breaking up.
Yes,
I didn't
yes.
get that last part. Anyway, talk to us about McDonald, man. Was he on your radar? You happy?
No, I had no fucking clue who he was when they called his name. After we were at
Are you
15 in the
joking? You're not joking?
no, no, I had no clue who he was when they called his name. I had to start digging, and I went. He was not expected to go in the first round at all. From anywhere I saw. Now Mel Kiper and Mel Kiper was hyping him up right before he got picked by the Jets, so I think he had some inclination, and I'm pretty sure the guy on the NFL Network that is Joe Douglas's buddy. What's his name? Daniel Jeremiah. He was giving McDonald a lot of cred, but that's also, that's JD's homie. So I don't know, man. I like everything I've seen from him after watching all the tape, etc. I think he's a bendy edge that's underweight. Whatever. I don't know. What I'll say is I'll reiterate what we talked about last week. This draft had probably the least amount of first round prospects that scouts been talking about in years.
Seems to be the
So
consensus. Yes.
yeah, I think if you needed a center or a tight end, this was a great draft for you. But like those are
Or a corner.
yeah, those are positions that are
But
not
you
as well.
guys are good with corner.
We're good for yeah. We don't need a corner for years. But
You
you
are
guys
set.
took a corner and you called that
Yeah, I
actually.
did, man. And you know
So
what? I would have called Deontay Banks specifically, but you know what? Again, kids, self-confidence. You know why I didn't actually pick him? And you know me, dude. I don't fuck around. I wouldn't like make up that I like this guy the most in retrospect just to like be right. I mean, I people who do that blow my mind. Um, the reason I didn't say Deontay Banks would be the pick. I think I said Ringo, by the way. Whoops. Is what's his face? Like everybody on the Athletic was predicting that, and to the point, I think everybody thought that Gonzalez and Witherspoon were going to be gone, right? And Witherspoon went way like higher than maybe people thought, or maybe not, right? But a little bit of a run on wide receiver in the middle of the round. Uh, Conflicting reports about the Giants being interested in Zay Flowers. I'm great with this pick, man. I told you last week, I think this was the position of need over everything else, especially considering the talent that is in this draft. I'm not sold on those wide receivers at all. So, and especially getting to what the Giants did later, which I thought was great too. I mean, why not? They had extra capital to burn here. They did burn a fifth and the seventh. Do you think that's a lot to move up one spot in the first? I don't.
no, I mean if no, I don't think that's a lot at all to move up from the
Yeah.
first. I
So
think,
Shane,
especially if you had how many
Shane
picks did
jumped
you
on it.
go into it with? Like you had like 10
Yeah,
picks.
we had like 10. We had a few extra, and
I mean, you never want to take 10 guys unless you're in a total rebuild. You
we did
guys are
last
not.
year, right? Which we
Yeah,
did,
yeah. Last year was a good
and they
year to
all
take
got
10
hurt.
guys, but they'll be there this year. But
Of
you
course.
want 6 to 8 guys in a normal draft class.
Well, also in the first round, you want to, get your guy.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I like that Shane did that, man. And I didn't get to watch the draft, so when I got that text from you guys, I was pumped, man. I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. And then they went and picked the center in the second round that I mentioned before it was picked. And not that that means anything, but that guy had been profiled before the draft. He was on my radar. I was like, yes, that's perfect. The Giants need inside offensive lineman. This guy's center only, so you can't move him to guard, but he's starting day one unless he gets hurt, I think.
And
And by the way, John Michael Schmitz, I didn't say his name. There it is.
JMS. Yeah. So
JMS.
so let's talk about the Giants draft overall. Like, tell me your
Yeah.
favorite pick. Tell me your least favorite pick, and what you think of the class overall.
That's what I was getting to. So, cornerback, center addressed, and then still had wide receiver out there. Obviously, our squad needs help. We had we have a bunch of inside guys and one on the outside. Jalen Hyatt is not exactly an outside guy. He mostly lined up in the inside, but he kind of has the build, and he definitely has the speed to play out there and to stretch the field. I mean that's his game, right? So he might be a little raw in terms of like running routes and stuff like that, but you can't argue with like game breakers. And this guy's a game breaker. I didn't. I think I was out again that on Friday. I didn't realize that Hyatt was still on the board when they traded up to get him. Now they gave up a fourth to go from 89 to 73. What do you think of that? Is that too much?
So he was what in the second or third round,
This is pick 73. It was the third.
and they gave up a fourth round pick and their third round pick to go up to the third round to get this
We had to
guy.
jump up 16 spots.
I
Yeah.
mean, again, I don't. This stuff like people get. I used to do
Yeah.
it myself. I used to get real caught up in like picks you get your guy, and
Yeah.
if like what if you get the wrong guy and you don't develop him, that pick doesn't mean a goddamn
Doesn't
thing.
mean shit.
And how many fourth round picks do you hit on? Like maybe half of them, maybe, right?
Maybe.
Maybe,
So,
maybe 40% of them. So if you're giving up and you still walked out with 7 picks overall, and you get up there and you get the guy that you want, and you got a guy like you said. I agree with you, Hyatt. There's mixed reviews on him. Some think he was
sure.
like the third or fourth best receiver in the draft, and some were like
Right.
he was off their fucking board because he doesn't know how to run NFL route tree at this point. And that's not that he can't be coached that, but I can tell you, we took a guy 4 years ago out of Baylor named Denzel Mims, and he didn't know how to run the route tree. He was a guy that
Yeah.
could take the top off, and he's literally never developed with us. And he is also malcontent because he thinks he should be starting, but he's just never developed. So
Definitely
it,
some risk here on that, but this is a third round pick we're talking about.
well, the nice thing is, and the difference between Mims and Hyatt is they're two different body types. Mims is a big bodied guy that can run fast. And I think he's a long strider he ran a 4.38 40, but I don't think he plays as fast in the game. He's more of like a guy that catches with his body and he can like go for jump balls. And
Right.
this isn't he was drafted for Gase's offense. This isn't the offense for him. But we thought, maybe we could get something for him, or maybe he'd develop. And so far, neither, and he's probably going to be a free agent after this year and get nothing for him. But my point is with Hyatt, he's a smaller guy. He's like a
6'0",
he's like
175 or
he's a
something.
track star,
Yeah.
and you put that guy in the slot, or you line him up outside. And he led the nation in over touchdown receptions over 50 yards. Right?
He
He had
did.
I think he had like 7 touchdowns
7
over
over
50
40.
yards,
Yeah.
over 40. I mean, you can't teach speed, man. You can teach a route tree, but you can't teach speed. And if this guy, if all he ever does is line up outside and run the go route, even if that's it, and he's a decoy half the time, it still brings something to your offense that you didn't have.
Very
And
well
it may not be defenses may learn how to figure him out, but in the beginning you got to respect that speed. And if he's going to go deep and you don't want to cover him, and Jones can put it up there for him to go lay out and get, you're gonna have to respect it at some point in time. You run them deep, and then you open up a lot of underneath because you're dragging that safety with them, or you're dragging that nickel and that safety. Depends on what they want to do. So
Yeah, very well said. As you mentioned, he doesn't have the NFL like route pedigree, but he knows how to track the ball that's just chucked up. And if I guess if they have Slayton and Hyatt at the same time running on the outside, that opens up Waller and Wandale or whoever in the slot plus Barkley a little more. So it helps. Is this guy a game breaker? No, but I'm not sure any of these wide receivers are honestly this year. So
no,
I love it. If you can get bored, like whatever with these ranks, right? But like some people had this guy like late first round. So if you get him in the third, I love it.
yeah, and I think again, we can sit here and debate and give grades. I think all that
Oh,
stuff is, and I used to eat that shit up when I was in my 20s and my
sure.
30s. I was
I
like,
still
oh,
do. I can't help it.
we go to F, fuck you, right? Like Dane Brugler
Right.
gave us the 29th best draft. He didn't rank them with grades, but it was, and Mel
I think
Kiper Jr. gave us the
I think he gave
26th
us
best draft.
13th this year, by the way.
Oh, I mean, whatever the case may be, I would, years ago, I would have fucking gotten
Yeah.
all upset, and now I'm just like, you cannot. It's just an opinion. You can't tell until these guys get in and get into the system, because this is like next level thinking, right? Like, and I don't think a lot of people think like this. Like, yes, there's a handful of guys in every draft that no matter where they go, they're going to be great, but there's a good majority of the draft picks that if they get drafted to the wrong system and they're not coached up properly, they may have been great in New England, but they're going to suck in San Diego or lost the Chargers.
I'd argue that's true for most sports, if not everything.
Right.
Talent is talent, but coaching means a lot too. Systems and luck, situations, whatever, opportunity.
Right.
It's all chaos, man.
So your favorite pick was Jalen Hyatt.
Hold on. Let's take a look here. So anyway, we picked up Eric Gray from Oklahoma. Solid pickup. I mean, he's not a game breaker, but he's He can catch. I think he's going to get reps over the next few years. That's great.
Backup running back, possibly take over
Especially
for
with Julio
Saquon.
probably phasing out soon, if not next year. Trey Hawkins is a guy they actually brought in to visit, and they grabbed him in the 6th. So whatever they see, they love him. It's apparently NFL tools, and maybe he doesn't know how to play. But
What position does he play?
another corner, which
Okay.
I love. And then they grabbed a giant defensive tackle in the 7th and a safety, who again they go for those physical ratings, the physical tests. I forget what they're called. You know what I mean?
Relative athletic score.
Yes, all that shit. So
Yep.
by the way, Hyatt was off the charts on that apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, dude, maybe Hyatt is my favorite pick, but I will say that I love how the 1st and 2nd played out. It's exactly what I, in my stupid like knowledge or opinions, confidence kids would do as well. So
good.
I'm happy, man.
I'm happy to hear that you're happy, my friend.
So yeah, talk to us about the Jets, dude.
I think, Will McDonald was, the whole way it happened, right? We're at 15, Patriots are at 14. We had swapped with the Packers at 13 to 15. All three of the tackles have been picked before. Broderick Jones is there at 14. Steelers trade up and with the Patriots who take a discount, and now they've admitted that they took a discount to make sure that the Jets didn't get Broderick Jones.
Wait, really?
Oh yeah. Yep.
That's petty.
So, I mean, whatever. Look at Belichick. Belichick also drafted a fucking kicker and a punter in this draft. So whatever, man.
Belichick and a Belichick. Yeah.
Dude, he was the greatest of all time with Tom Brady. He hasn't done shit before or after. And I'm not going to say he's not a good coach, but he's also
he
old.
did shit with the Giants.
He wasn't the head coach.
Could argue he had ridiculous talent on the Giants. No, but I mean that defense is what won them 2 Super Bowls.
Yes.
Anyway,
well, he spurned the Jets.
I hate.
Anyway, we don't need to.
So
we don't need to go down that road here. So
I don't feel like
whether
Belichick. Jesus, what am I doing?
Yes, thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, man. So I don't know. We're up, and they let the clock go all the way down to like 20 seconds left in the first round, and I'm like, are they
always a good sign?
Trading out. They got to trade out. They got to trade out, right? Because they didn't get their tackle. Trade back, recoup, a second or a third or something. And then they took McDonald, and obviously the company line is, this was our number one pass rusher, staring us in the face. We need he's a closer. He's a guy that's going to be able to get up to the quarterback in the fourth quarter when we got leads. And everything I saw of him on film, I mean, guy broke fucking Von Miller's sack record in the Big 12 or whatever for career, or tied for first, one more than Von Miller. So I don't know, man. I like his athleticism. If he bulks up and they can coach him up, I think he's a good. Everything I've read about him, he's a really good kid. No like off the field issues. Wants to take care of his family. Teammates with Breece Hall last year at Iowa State, and has just a knack for getting to the quarterback and strip sacks. So if this guy can become what they think he can, and Saleh has shown he can coach up ends. I mean, he did it with Bryce Huff so far, an undrafted free agent who is a situational pass rusher that's probably going to come in for a big payday next year. Probably not with us, but another team. He's turned John Franklin Myers into an NFL, a guy they took off of waivers and turned him into a $12 million a year defensive end. I like what I saw to Jermaine Johnson last year, one of their first round picks last year. They got Carl Lawson, who they brought in as a free agent, and they drafted Michael Clemens, who also had a great year in the fourth. He was a 4th round pick, came in, and he had a great year for a 4th round pick rookie guy. So I like their track record with ends. I think once they get them in the program, get them lifting some weights, put about 15 to 20 pounds on them, and still keep them that. I mean, the guy can fucking jump over an SUV. Have you seen the videos?
No, I gotta look that up.
Oh, dude, he's like jumps over cars for
like from the side, right? Obviously not front to back.
Yeah, like he'll run at it from like the back right tire and jump over and land on the front left tire. Oh, so kind of diagonally. I mean, he puts his hand down, but he clears it. He definitely gets enough hops. It's pretty impressive. Kind of not as impressive as Tristan Wirfs totally jumping out of a pool. That's still one of the craziest things I've ever seen. But
I agreed. Holy shit!
yeah. I mean, I don't even think I could jump out of a kiddie pool like that.
That's some predator shit right there. I don't want to know.
Yes.
That's some horse blood.
Yeah. But so I like everything I've read. I like everything they've said. Do I think they panicked and reached, or do I? I don't think Joe Douglas panics. I think they took the next available guy on their board after they were probably going to take Jones at 15, and once he got sniped, I think they went with the next best guy, and I think if they can develop him to be who they think he can be, it'll be a fucking asset. And then we took the Joe Tippmann, the other center that we were linked to.
I got to ask you. So, yeah, talk to us about Joe Tippmann, because I read that Schmitz was the highest rated center by some people, but this guy's a center too, obviously, right? Or can he play the other positions?
So Tippmann came in as a tackle, but he's played everywhere on the line. He's 6'6", 310. Yeah. I think this was our guy all along. We brought him in for an interview. He's only, maybe he's 23, but he's not 24. Schmitz is 24.
Yeah, and Schmitz is a little smaller than, he's definitely not 6'6".
Schmitz is smaller. No, he's a normal center.
It's like a
he doesn't
wrestler.
He doesn't have the ability. But if you look at Tippmann's ability to pull in the run game, I think we run that wide zone running style.
Okay.
So I think that's what they wanted, is a big guy who get out into open space and, still get on a linebacker, and that's what his tape was.
Is he going to line up at center, you think, on the Jets, or
he'll start day one? He'll start day one. We re-signed Connor McGovern, our center from the last 3 years, for a 1 year, $1.9 million contract. So clearly he doesn't get any offers on the open market. He's going to battle it out with Tippmann just in case Tippmann's not ready. But that a boy, America. So I think it'll be our guy right there. And then we didn't pick in the third round. In the fourth round, we took Carter Warren, left tackle out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Guy that's pro. They say he's pro ready, played in a pro style offense. Could have been a second round pick last year, got injured this year, came back, tried to move up to be a first, got injured, tore his meniscus, only played 4 games. Healthy now because he did it in the beginning of the year. New Jersey kid, also loves football, team captain. A lot to love about him. Took Israel Abanikanda, also out of Pitt, in the 5th round.
Yes.
And we'll get to my favorite pick in a second. 6th round, we took
Zaire Barnes,
of no-name linebacker. I think I trust our D coordinator and Ulbrich, and who's a former linebacker.
All these guys have their favorites, right?
This guy, I think this guy, when you talk about RAS, this guy was off the charts with that, but he didn't really produce a lot in college. But he runs like a 4.5 40. He's going to be a special teams guy, and maybe the guy that can back up Quincy next year, And then we took Bernard Converse out of LSU, cornerback. ABC. But he's going to be they're going to move him to safety. Another guy, I think if he had tested as a safety, would have been the number 1 RAS scoring safety in the draft. And then they took Zach Kuntz, however you decide you want to pronounce it.
I was waiting for you to get to that one.
Yes. And he was the number 1.
You went with the soft U to start. Good job.
Yes.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm that brave. So
I think it's Kuntz.
Is he related to Rusty?
Rusty Kuntz? I don't think so. But yeah, so he was the number 1 tight end, RAS scoring tight end in the draft. So a couple of freak athletes. See what you got, throw something against the wall. But my favorite pick is Abanikanda. He is, I think, going to be one of the top running backs in this draft class. Wow. And I think he was pretty high on his RAS, but his tape is fucking really good, man. And he's a home run hitter. He's like 5'11". His RAS was very similar to Breece Hall's last year. He's 5'11", like 100 or 210 pounds with 4.3 speed. Not as great in pass protection and catching the ball as Breece, and I think that's why he's in the 5th round, right? He's not a second round guy.
That's usually why, right? With running backs. So,
but you give this guy the ball. I have a feeling he's going to be starting on opening day. I have a feeling that Brees isn't going to be ready. I think that's why this guy was a great pick. He's going to be a good complement, a 1-2 punch with Brees once he comes back.
What did you guys do with Robinson and the other guys behind?
Uh, so we still have Bam Knight.
I know Johnson's gone. You still have Bam Knight?
We have Bam Knight and we have Michael Carter. Michael Carter
of
had a
course.
terrible year last year.
Yeah.
And I think what's going to happen is Carter will be the third down back, and Abanikanda will be the starter, and I think Bam Knight will be like the change of pace guy to give either of those guys a breather until Brees. I think Brees. If I had to guess, Brees is going to start on the pup and not be able to come in until week 6. I don't think they're going to want to rush him because he was ridiculous. And as you saw when Saquon came back, 2 years ago, he was not the same guy. Everyone thought he was done until he came back last year and proved everyone wrong.
Yeah,
those ACLs.
The first time he came back, it looked like he was a little rushed, and then they gave him way too many reps. I thought he was taking a beating, and of course he got hurt again. So, lesson learned. Hopefully, hey, dude, I remember Abanikanda from the ACC, so I'll keep an eye on him, man. That's a crazy call though that you think he might be the best.
I think Bijan's going to be the best back. I think his pedigree is just way too good. He's going to Arthur Smith's offense where, the guy that schemed for Derrick Henry for so many years. If you look at last year, he took Tyler Algier, a 5th-round pick, and made him a 1,000-yard rusher. And he took Cordell Patterson, a wide receiver kick returner, and turned him into a 1,000-yard rusher the year before.
Yeah,
so
Cordarrelle's a baller, though.
Both of those guys are great players, but Bijan Robinson is the best back to come out since Saquon.
Oh, no, I was just reminiscing on how Cordarrelle was like a can't-miss prospect to start and then faded and then built a nice little career.
Still kicking at 33 years old.
Yeah,
he is a badass.
He does it all.
He does it all, but he's now going to be the kick returner, maybe the slot guy and the third down back kind of thing, because Bijan is going to be carrying the rock.
Enjoy. So, all right. So what do you think overall? Kind of a letdown draft or whatever?
I don't think it was a letdown draft. I think it was a meat and potatoes draft, which I think is what this draft was. We didn't need a wide receiver. We didn't need a tight end. We took one in the 7th round. That guy, I don't know if he's going to make the team. If he does, great. If they can figure him out, a 6'7" guy that can run a 4.5 40 in the slot in the red zone, sign me up if they can figure out how to untap him. But we needed another guy, another body on the line. So we got Carter Warren, who I think could possibly be the left tackle of the future. If not, he's a swing tackle. And then we signed Billy Turner after the draft. He's a guy that can play every position except center on the line. So I like our depth. If you look at what we've done after the draft, too, we signed Al Woods at D tackle. And
that was my next question. If you liked any of the undrafted free agents.
No, those guys are regular free agents. The undrafted free agent guys that signed with the Jets, I'm finally at a point where I don't care. Because I think that if one of them makes the team, cool. I don't even want to know what their fucking names are this year because I've spent way too much time deep diving on undrafted free agents. We finally have depth at every position and good depth at every position that I'm not concerned with the guy that's going to be the 53rd man on the roster.
Fair enough.
If he is cool, we've hit some diamonds in the rough. Like I said, Bryce Huff. Guy that's a situational pass rusher. Quincy Williams, that's the guy we signed off waivers, so I guess we can't really say he was an undrafted free agent. But there was one other guy that comes to mind that is eluding me right now that was an undrafted free agent. I'll remember it soon.
Well, I want to give because our receivers suck. The Giants receivers can use some help. So I will give a shout out to Bryce Ford Wheaton from West Virginia, who he himself was surprised he didn't get drafted, but he got a lot of calls after the draft. So and he went there because David Sills, interesting connection. So who the hell knows though, right?
Who the hell knows, Doug?
Oh, and dude, I buried the lead with the Giants. I didn't even mention that we just locked up Dexter Lawrence for 4 years.
4 years, $90 million. How do you feel about that contract?
At market? Fuck yeah, let's go.
Is that the highest of all the defensive tackles, or did he come in
no,
under?
I think Simmons got more
Yeah.
technically,
Well,
and
Donald obviously still has the most, and no one, that they're not. No one's going to beat Donald's
yeah,
contract.
but like recent contracts, it's like in line with Simmons and Payne on Washington. So
Yeah.
you gotta love that. He had 7.5 sacks from the nose tackle position last year. He's just a beast inside.
Yep.
That was one of their goals. Next is either hopefully Andrew Thomas, maybe Saquon. We'll see. But the Giants are capped out.
Yeah,
We'll see how they
I
maneuver.
don't see you guys signing Saquon long term. I don't think they want to. I don't think
You
it
think it's
makes.
all lip service because they love him, but yeah,
I mean, unless he gives them a 3-year deal, and they can say, okay, we'll take it to your 29 year, and we'll call it from there. But
yeah, but
if
he's
he
not going
wants if he wants one of these like 5-year, like $100 million deals, you just can't. You can't give it to him, man. You can't. You can't. You can't. You gave it to Daniel Jones. You just gave the big money to the guys that need the big money, right? Which brings me to us. We still got to sign Quinnen,
to.
and he's going to probably get right in that same neighborhood.
He'll
4
get
years.
Dexter money, or if not more. He was better
Yep.
than Dex, right?
Yep.
So,
He's better than all the
stat wise,
guys.
yeah.
He's better than all the guys on that list. That's why he's. I think that's why he's waiting for all them to sign.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. If it was like a record contract for the position, I would be like, oh, like this might be trouble down the road. But I gotta love 4 years, 90 million. Why not?
Why not?
It's the NFL.
And have you seen? Have you seen the Aaron Rodgers contract?
No.
So he he renegotiated his deal to like not hit the Packers with $40 million of dead cap this year. So he's literally making the league minimum, and then his signing bonus is like $40 million, which the Jets are going to have to put that on their cap. But apparently, from what everyone's saying, is he's going to sign a crazy like team friendly deal to get the Jets the 2 to possibly 3. They're talking now. He's going to be here. They're thinking definitely 2, maybe even 3 years. And the contract he's signing is so team friendly because he just wants to bring in, like he doesn't want him to be the reason why they're not being able to bring in free agents.
Yeah.
And to the point where Connor Rogers called him a cult, that he's going to be referred to as a cult hero because of the deal, the team friendly deal he's going to be giving the Jets for the next 3 years.
I definitely agree with the cult part with Aaron Rodgers. Anything to do with,
dude, have you not? Come on now,
I'm kidding.
The guy gets a bad rap. He's been out in New York, out and about, gallivanting around town, going to Knicks and Rangers games.
Yeah, it's the honeymoon period, man. You guys will turn on him. I'm kidding.
I don't think so.
No, it's the Jets.
I already pre-ordered my fucking jersey.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Jets.
Don't do it, Douglas. Don't do it. So
that's honestly cool of him, man.
Dude, he's been bringing out the young guys. Like he is definitely embracing the big bright lights, big city, and the new teammates, and he's doing what he should be. He's doing. I'm not to like turn to the Brooklyn Nets, but he's doing what Kevin Durant should have done. He's being a leader. He's showing the fucking guys how it's done. He's already said he's going to take Zach Wilson under his wing. Like he is just everything that we could have asked him to be and more.
He actually said that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I did not expect that necessarily.
He said, I'm going to take Zach under my wing. I'm going to show him how to be a professional on and off the field. And I think he's got a bright future. And then if you saw, the Packers just gave Jordan Love a 1-year extension.
Love might work too for them. Who knows?
I mean, depending on how Jordan Love plays, right? Right? They just gave him a 1-year extension instead of his 5th-year deal, so he's not,
He's got the Daniel Jones prove it thing. Yep.
Yeah, and I am like, I hope we do this with Zach after Rodgers retires. Yes. I think we should too. I think he'll, by the time Rodgers goes in 2 to 3 years,
do the years line up for that? Yeah, I guess they do.
Yeah, so he's got this year and next year, and then he'd be in his 5th year, and we could either give him his 5th year or decline it, which we'll decline it obviously because it'll be stupid to give it to him, and then hopefully we can work out a 5th-year deal where, hey, we're going to pass the baton. You'll be the starter here. Here's regular money, and if you do well, we'll sign you to a bigger deal. and I don't see why he wouldn't want to do that after investing all this time and effort here, right? So
Yeah, but I also don't see why. I get why you're doing it, but like, no point in trying to project 2 or 3 years in the NFL.
right, exactly.
Zach Wilson was
You are
supposed to
correct.
be Aaron Rodgers coming out
You're
of the draft.
correct. I'll worry about the Zach Wilson baton in 3 to 4
Yeah,
years.
man. So
I'll
nothing to
worry
worry
about
about.
next year. Next year, I don't care about that first round pick that's going to probably be Green Bay's. All I care about is fucking Aaron Rodgers staying healthy, this team staying healthy, them keeping him upright, and letting him fucking do
That's
what
it.
he knows how to do.
Get
If
Brees
he
back. That's
get
it.
Brees back, and dude, we're gonna be a good team if our
Hell yeah.
defense performs close to what they did last year, and our offense had, if we just had a semblance of good quarterback play last year, we would have been in the playoffs. We had terrible quarterback play and we won 7 games.
Dude,
So
AFC East is going to be a lot of fun, man. I can't
it's
wait.
going to be a lot of fun. The Dolphins got better.
Yep.
The fucking Bills got better. The Patriots, I think, for the
Did the
first
Bills
time
get
in a long time.
better? The Bills are
I mean,
just
I think Dalton Kincaid, even whatever else they
actually,
did,
yeah, you're right. That's
with
a big
Dalton
improvement for
Kincaid
them.
as their slot tight end in the red zone,
Yeah.
and they picked up Latavius
Yep.
Murray, which means Cook is going to be their starting running back, and Latavius is going to be the fucking, the big bulky back to the goal line back.
Yep.
I think that's way better than Devin Singletary and Cook being the backs last year. So they finally got a guy that can like power the ball where it needs to be powered.
Latavia's still in the league. I noticed that when I'm not talking shit about this at all, but I noticed when Brandon moved our league over to CBS, he cut Latavius from my team, and I'm like, I should check that. I might
Well,
want to
you
look
can.
into that.
You might want to ask for that back. You might want to ask for
Yeah.
that back. But
Anyway,
Dougie, we talked a lot about football. We've talked about the shitty Mets. Do you want to give any love to the Islanders
well,
or?
we got to say goodbye, right, man? And last Friday seems like a month ago to me. I don't know about you. That does
Mhm.
not seem like last week, but for our loyal viewers, the Islanders lost in 6 games to the Carolina Hurricanes. They lost game 6 at home in overtime. They scored a goal in the first period and then end up losing 2-1. They were leading 1-0 going into the third. Kind of went
They
into a shell,
played.
right?
They
And then
well, they played like pussies in the
yeah,
third.
I
They
don't know
iced
why
every
this keeps
puck.
happening with game sevens, man. There's Tampa, which maybe was a chess match. Maybe I'll give that's Trotz versus Cooper. That was a 1-0 game 7. But like I don't know if you
This wasn't
remember the
even
watch.
game 7. This was game 6.
Yeah, this is game 6. But I hate when they do that. Because it seemed like early in the game it was working, and then they looked different by the end. So
I think they were playing scared in the
yeah,
third.
people talk about prevent defenses and shit like that, but like, and how it's
The only
bad,
thing a prevent defense does is prevent you
right?
from winning.
Exactly, but like it keeps happening. Like, and I saw that with oh god, what was the other team that we were watching that kind of did that? The Bruins, dude. The Bruins sat back in the third and shit away their best season ever.
Best season
Whoops.
ever. But let's talk a little bit about these Isles. We got a couple minutes left.
Yeah, why
What do you foresee? It
not?
was a very trying year.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know how
been a
I feel
trying couple
about
of years.
I don't know how I feel about Lane Lambert as a coach.
I don't either.
I don't
Mildly
we
interesting, they haven't said anything yet, so I think there is a possibility he's not back.
well they
If it
talked
was a slam
to
dunk, he would have had interviews by now.
I think that Lou and Lane are going to talk to the media in the next couple of days. They
That's
did the
they
exit
keep
interviews of
punting it
the
though.
they did the player exit interviews last week, right? And everyone said they wanted to be
Yeah,
back.
that was
Breezy
Monday.
said he wants to be back. Mayfield said he wants to be back.
Everybody, Varley,
Yep,
even
exactly.
Josh Bailey, who's not coming
Oh
back.
no, he's not coming
Um,
back.
and
He took a couple shots at
he
Lane.
did.
He definitely does not like Lane Lampert.
Oh
That
yeah, I
is
mean,
factual.
honestly, that was one of the more encouraging aspects to Lane, that he had the balls to sit a veteran like that.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't. Bailey has kind of tailed off, but I think he's still an NHL player, maybe. Either way, dude, it's that thing where it's like I don't really want to think about this team right now, right? Because we just lost. But they have some serious issues. Like Horvat and Barzell really weren't there. I give Barzell a pass because he just came off cold, like came into the series cold because he was hurt. But man, Hopefully, Horvat gets his head centered. You know, getting traded is tough in midseason. I guess we've seen that elsewhere. So I'm not going to get on him too much. But shit, 1 point in the series, 8.5 next year for 8 years. I don't know. So I could see all these guys coming back though. Lose loyal almost to a fault sometimes.
Yeah, I think I have a feeling we're going to be running it back with pretty much the same exact squad.
Yeah,
I think we will probably re-sign Engvall, and
that's the
somehow
one I'm not sure about because like I think somehow they're going to get Mayfield back, but
I think they're going to get Mayfield back. I think they're going to get Varlamov back, and I think it's going to be all at hometown discounts for extra years.
if it's discount, I'm cool. And by the way,
Yeah,
they locked up Hudson Fashing for 2 years.
2 years league minimum. Can't shit on that one.
Good hustle, kid.
So, all right, Dougie, we'll do more on the Islanders as we
Yeah,
as
like
we
I don't want
learn
to say
more.
much, but I know our Vicon Diaz is someone else, so I do want to give a quick shout out. At least the other playoff series are going well, right? Like Rangers dead, Boston dead, Toronto down to 0-2 already.
Oh my God!
Let's
On
go,
home
let's go
ice, on
Panthers!
home ice,
Yes,
on
on
home
home
ice.
ice. So it all's not lost. A good job by the Devils to take out the Rangers. You know, train a shame home from Jersey. That must have been fun for the blue shirt crowd. So
Dude, I have to say this, and I'm sorry. We have a little text thread with our buddy Josh Rosen, and how the fuck do the New Jersey Devils and the Prudential Center let that many Rangers tickets get sold to Rangers fans? You know where your fucking Rangers fans are, and you can definitely. There's other teams that limit zip codes. I would have rather given those tickets away for free to anyone standing
it's
outside the
tough in the
stadium.
New York area, though. I hear you, but
I mean, dude,
they do it to us too.
the whole
They
bottom
do it to
bowl was
us.
Ranger
Yeah,
fans.
yeah.
Doesn't matter,
It's a
man.
secondary market.
It was game 7, and it
Well,
was
dude,
shameful.
I'll take it a step further. You know why this happens? Because those seats are so goddamn expensive. The people who buy them probably don't care as much. So
Right,
if they see a game 7 ticket go through the roof, hell yeah, they're selling to whoever is the highest bidder, right? That's
right,
economics, baby.
right.
So I kind of feel for them because those idiots obviously waltz into the Coliseum and UBS sometimes too.
This is true.
So I won't get totally like, haha, you idiots on them because I don't know, glass houses and such. But yeah, fuck the Rangers. They're so annoying. Yeah, but
Fuck
you're
'em.
right. It's the worst when you see that blue like section like right like around there on the
Right at
road.
center ice,
Yeah.
all blue. Anyway, what do you got
Yeah.
to say, Dougie? It's been a good episode.
Hey man, let's via Condias, Matt Harvey. You anything you want to say about Matt?
Matt Harvey was our
For a
first
moment,
round pick. He was our first round pick. I want to say like
2010 or
2009
something.
or 8 or
29,
something
yeah.
like that. Out of UNC, Connecticut boy. Grew up. I think he grew up a Yankees fan. Is that right?
He did.
He was from like Norwich or something.
Yeah, he was
Uh,
upstate, but yeah.
he was like the number 4 pick in the draft that year, and he came out, and I loved him as much as I loved Justin Verlander when he came out in the draft. He was a hard throwing bulldog, and
He was a warrior.
he was a warrior. He came in, and he had some of the most. He was if you remember, we had Syndergaard, we had Degrom, and we had
Matt's
Mats, and
and Wheeler
we had Matt and Wheeler, and Matt Harvey was by far the best of the 5 of those guys.
in 2013. Yeah,
When he was on, Matt Harvey was the guy, and he got caught up in the fame, right? He was the Dark Knight of Gotham, and he played that role, and it went to his
yeah.
head a little bit. And we think he had a little bit of problems with the nose candy, and
There was a little
he
bit of Dwight Gooden in New York City. It's kind of a parallel story, unfortunately.
yep. Yep, and he got caught
And
up with the
yeah,
supermodels and wanting to be this
Adrian
guy.
Luna, all that.
Yep, smoking cigarettes and just and then I remember when after we started hearing the rumors about him being on drugs, and he would just be sweating like a pig on the mound in the middle of May when it wasn't even
Right.
hot out, and it was like, oh man, he's in a bad place. But those first 2 years, right, until he needed Tommy John, and even the year he came back from Tommy John and pitched us into the World Series in 15, and there was all that Boris, he's gonna hit stop at 100 innings no matter what, and he was like, "Fuck that, I'm pitching through it." Even though at first he said he wasn't, and then he was like, "I'm not letting my teammates down." And he put his career on the line in
He did.
that year, that season, and he had one of the best seasons ever that year because he was the Bulldog, and he was never the same after that year. So
Never.
as much as it didn't end well, and there was a lot of like exterior things that went sideways, I'll always remember those years of Matt Harvey and what a great pitcher he was, and that's how I'll remember him.
For a brief time, right? And well said. The only other thing I'll mention is that I was there with you, Game 5 in 2015 against the Royals, Game 5 of the World Series at City. This dude pitched 8 innings of, I think, was it scoreless ball or maybe 1-run ball? Either way, and Terry got talked. He talked Terry into letting him come out for the 9th. But you know what? We were all behind that decision. And
Dude, I remember what I said to you.
The
We were sitting
entire
next to each other.
stadium was just absolutely pumped up that our guy, our Bulldog, as you said, was coming out to close out that goddamn game in the 9th. Obviously, it went sideways, but the Mets fans love this guy. I know some people who know him, who run with him, and every time they bring it up, because they know I'm a Mets fan, I always make sure to tell them that despite all the shit, despite all the tabloids, despite all the problems, New York really did love him. So
Yeah,
that's all I'll say. It's overall kind of a sad story how it worked out. And Jesus, he's been through a lot in 10 years, but vaya con Dios, Matt.
yeah. Enjoy retirement, my friend, and hopefully you find some peace doing whatever it is you do. But you gave New York 3 of the best years that I can remember from a starting pitcher.
Yeah, like single season, we're talking he's one of the best I've seen. Up there with Doc, up there with Jake's best, up there with that random Rory Dickey season. But that 2013, until he got hurt, the game we went to, you and I, in August.
We were there that game too.
He was
against the fucking Tigers. Yep.
Speaking of.
But and fun little side story when we were cheering for Matt Harvey to come out, Norm, my father, was with us. I took my dad to that was the last World Series game. I always told my dad, if the Mets make the World Series, I'm taking you. And we went, and we sat out like in the right field foul pole lower area. And the whole time we're cheering for Matt while he's coming out, my father is pissing in a beer cup because he couldn't make it to a bathroom. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And the girls next to us were like, "Oh," and he was like, "Hello." Oh, God rest your soul, Norm. That was one of the better moments.
R.I.P. Norm, and thanks for that, because I did kind of forget about that one. But
all right, Dougie. Well, it's been a great show.
Yeah, guys. Thanks for
audience.
watching.
We'll see you next week.